Hey, what's going on, guys? Big D here, and welcome back to another war recap video. We're over here in Eden's Edge, and I'm going to be showing you a few attacks from our previous war. But first, I wanted to let you guys know what's been going on in our war log. As you can see, the last 7 wars here in Eden's Edge, we have won back to back to back. And I'm actually shooting for 20 war wins in a row over here in Eden's Edge. Will we do it? Who knows? But if you stay tuned long enough to the channel, I'm sure you will find out. But let's get into the most recent war. As you saw from the war log, we did in fact win the last 7 wars, including the most recent one, Eden's Edge versus Canada's Finest, both level 9 clans, and we whooped their butt. And we had 3 missed attacks in the midst as well, and still whooped them pretty bad. So 96.9% to their 86.4%, and they were missing 5 stars in the end. Let's jump in and see what happened. The first attack I'm going to show you is mine, of course, on my Town Hall 10 Dean, and we're going to come in with a pretty standard Electrone LaLo, 2 clones, 1 rage, 3 haste, and a poison spell. Level 38 queen, level 30 king. This was before my queen got up to max. Let's see how I did it. So the obvious Electrone here is going to be from the 3 o'clock side over here on the right side. Send in some Cocoa Loons. Going to soak up a Sam here in a moment. There we go. Blimp coming in. We're going to try to get the queen, the clan castle, an air defense, a multi-target inferno, and a sweeper. So the sweeper goes down, the multi goes down, the air defense goes down, and nothing comes out of that clan castle. That means either A, there's nothing in it, or B, it's either lava hounds or an ice golem and a balloon, because none of that would come out for an air clan castle. So the E-Drag is going to clear some more trash over at 3 o'clock and push into some more defenses. King comes down over on the right side. Bear is going to push up north to 12 o'clock. And what we're going to try to do is get the queen in and take out this air defense. And that'll leave us with 2 left on the base here and here for the 2 hounds that I do bring in my Electrone LaLo. E-Drag's still up in the core, going to get a few shots off here before he dies off to that air defense. Send in a test wall breaker and then break the queen into the compartment. King gonna funnel her in. She's gonna take care of the archer tower and then the air defense next. LaLo coming in from 6 o'clock, sending in just a few balloons and a hound, being very patient with spells because I don't like to overly spend spells too quick and end with no spells. You just don't want to do that, especially when on the back end of a base. Could be pretty devastating. So we held the spell until we finally got the balloons all the way into the walls of the base and finally dropped the first spell. Second haste is going to come in trying to push these balloons into the core because they are fighting a sweeper. The hound is getting shot by the single target inferno. It does go down. A hound comes out of the clan castle. Luckily I still held that poison and we dropped the poison onto the pups. Pup's gonna go back into the poison to try to take out some archers and die off. Last haste comes down going through the back end of the base, and the last of the defenses will go down to the million balloon parade there on the back end. Pups and minions cleaning up the bottom side. A few balloons to directly target the clan castle and town hall in the core if I needed them to, but they're gonna be pretty useless because this base is already crushed. I get my cleanup in really early with my LaLo because I don't want to time fail. And here we go, everything converging on the town hall as the last building, and that's going to be the triple with Electrone LaLo right here on my Town Hall 10. Okay, this is where things get a little bit strange. I'm bringing in another Electrone LaLo on Dean, but this time with 3 clone spells and a rage spell, all for the Electrone. That means the poison spell is the only thing that's not for my Electrone technically, but let's see how it turns out. So I have nothing for the LaLo. The LaLo is going to have to make it through the base with 0 spell support. Let's see how it's done. So I'm going to send in 3 Cocoa Loons here, making sure there's not too many Sams on this air defense, sending in the Blimp. Blimp is going to take a Sam, unfortunately, but it's okay. We dropped the rage. Triple Clone right here in the core. Now I was hoping that the air defense would go down, the archer tower would go down to some balloons, and the Electro Dragon would take out the queen. So poison over the queen, but nothing goes after her, unfortunately. So we have to change up our plan just a little bit because my original plan was to sui out this air defense in this whole compartment. So since my Electro Dragon did not get the queen out, I went ahead and sent some minions here to funnel, and the king's going to come down right there. He's going to run up to the left to this gold mine, and then hopefully, of course, into the base because we have to get the queen and king in to try to take out the enemy queen there. Again, nothing coming out of the clan castle for the Electron. That means it's either an air targeting or a ground targeting only a clan castle like a hound or ice golems and a balloon, and of course it is. And then I send my queen in. I'm hoping, I didn't actually hope she'd get this air defense. I really wanted to walk straight into the core, but it's okay. It ends up working out for the best. My king took out the enemy queen. My queen's gonna deal with the 2 ice golems, and I know she is under no threat, so I went ahead and sent in the LaLo over here at 9 o'clock, going straight into the first air defense. A bunch of balloons coming down because I have no spell support, so I need to make sure I take out the defenses pretty quickly over there and send in a strong force of balloons. First hound's already popped over the first air defense, and it's already looking a little bit grim for me. I really wasn't sure at this point in the raid that I had it tripled, but I was sure that there was still a very high chance. Second hound coming in. I still got 3 balloons left in the comp. I'm going to send in a few at the cannon, and now all my balloons are in. Actually, almost my entire army is already on the field already. Still no spells for the LaLo, so I had to make it through the whole back end without a single spell. The multi-target Inferno, I was actually hoping that I was actually hoping this entire bottom part of the base here was going to get taken out by my king, my queen, and the Electrone. Didn't work out that way, so I had to improvise, send in my king and queen to take out the enemy queen, and then wrap from the 9 o'clock side all the way over here. And I got a little bit lucky that that hound did tank both of those last archer towers. I think I had enough balloons, even though they were low health, to get them both down, but that hound came in clutch, and the archer towers popped them for some extra cleanup. Queen also clutched it by staying alive as long as she did, popped her ability to get through a wall, and took down a multi-target Inferno by herself. And that was the clutch moment we needed for this to work. I have a few crazy ideas as I plan my war attacks, because honestly, I do about a 5-second scout. I look and see what I'm already going to do to the base. It pops in my head and I just run with it. Sometimes I have some crazy ideas like this one to run 3 clone spells, and it worked out just perfectly. We did triple this base with a 3 clone Electrone LaLo. Moving into my Town Hall 11 war attacks, over here on Derek, we're going to bring in a drag bat on this base. Now, this actually didn't go 100% to plan. Let's just see how it did go. I'm down 1 bat spell and 1 free spell. I typically don't bring this exact comp, but I dropped the bat spell, dropped the free spell, and took an extra rage for this section right here for my bats, but it does not go perfectly. So king comes down over here at about 1:30, 2 o'clock, queen coming in behind. I'm hoping to get a little bit of value and a funnel set down here for my dragons. Electro Dragon up top at 12 o'clock, getting some amazing value actually, because its chain value is, oh, look at that, this is just sick. So dragons come in. Stone Slammer's going to come in a little bit late. There we go, behind the Grand Warden, and I pop a weird Warden ability here, leading into a rage spell. I should have held this, to be completely honest with you. I should not have dropped it right here, because those eagle shots were still going to come down, and by the time the Eternal Tome wears off, the dragons do take that damage from those eagle shots, unfortunately. But the rage was supposed to be used for this eagle section. I was not expecting my dragons to come over and take it down. My bats were supposed to take this down, and I made a little bit of a goof. So I dropped my bats up here at the Tesla farm that popped because of my heroes, and again was going to rage to the eagle, and I happened to miss a freeze. So the rage comes down, the bats split, and I missed this freeze, losing some bats. And then, where is it? There we go, right here in this section. My bats got eaten up while I still had 2 free spells left, and it was just really unfortunate. I should have planned a little bit better and held off on dropping my spells for a little bit longer. I had plenty of dragons left, and this base would have been absolutely crushed if I had just held. But I tried to improvise, use the freezes to the best of my ability, best judgment I could, to make sure that this single did go down, because it was going to be the detriment, the only detriment to the rest of my troops there. Electro Dragon, a few dragons left, and the only threat really is this archer tower and whatever SAMs or mines or bombs could be targeting them at the end of the raid. So I was expecting some right down here in this section, but luckily for me, we did make it through the base and get the triple on this base with the drag bat. And honestly, it was more like just a drag loon attack, because the bats did just about nothing. You know, it just happens that way sometimes, and I did get a little bit lucky. Let me tell you, those bats were supposed to do some real massive work. Unfortunately, my deployment was not the best. I should have waited a bit longer, let the dragons work a bit further into the base, and then drop the bats when I had a little more narrow path, and I wouldn't have had a split on the bats, and they'd have stayed together and pushed through the last of the defenses. But nonetheless, look at that. See, again, air mines and air bombs are what was going to be the end of me, but the 2 dragons, an Electro Dragon and the Grand Warden, are going to finish off this Town Hall 11 drag bat. just fine for the triple. Just a few seconds out, and there we go. The last of the buildings go down, army camp down. Then that is the triple with the Town Hall 11 drag bat. All right, now this attack on my Town Hall 11 was actually the first attack that I performed, but because of the outcome, I'm going to show it last here. Let's see what happened. I'm bringing in a 5 ICG against this Town Hall 11 base. 1 Ice Golem going in on the right corner, 2 bowlers, 2 witches coming in behind it. Same thing going to happen at 12 o'clock, trying to get the funnel set for the main push of my army to get into the core, trying to get a really narrow path so that everything does fall in line. So the funnel's actually getting established really well. Cannon gets frozen on the right side, a wizard tower up top getting frozen by the Ice Golem's death, and then the bowlers and witches and skeletons setting the funnel. Funnel gets set well enough that I decided let's go ahead and send in the rest of the 5 ICG, 3 Ice Golems, 4 witches, and then the King, Queen, Warden, and bowlers. Now, this storage almost cost me the funnel. Luckily, the witches and skeletons and King take it down. The King actually decides to turn around and follow the wall wrecker in. Gotta pop an early Warden ability here for the eagle shots, and the fact that the wall wrecker is getting attacked by the single target Inferno. It's not gonna make it all the way into the core, but it gets 1 shot off on the wall, helping out and just damaging the wall enough that my bowlers and King and Yeti and Valkyries can make it through in 1 little bit of a shot. There we go. The Town Hall is going to go down. We're going to get in range of the Eagle Artillery, getting into its dead zone. It goes down, and then I'm going to start my bats right here at this mortar, pushing into the very first wizard tower. Only 2 wizard towers left on the base, so we get an early freeze on it. We do bring 4 freeze spells for this 5 ICG. Second freeze comes down on the same wizard tower, making sure I don't lose any bats. And also we freeze the X-Bow because it's a really big detriment to this attack. We went ahead and froze this wizard tower. I wasn't sure that I needed it because it was distracted on my queen, but I also thought I'd have to pop my queen's ability, so we wanted to make sure it did stay frozen. Bats working through the back end of the base. Not many defenses left, but not a lot of army left either. My King and Warden and some bats are all that's left. I have no cleanup because I used my wizard and my archer up here with this portion of the 5 ICG to make sure the funnel was set very well. So bats are gonna have to make it through a lot of storages, and you can guess that at 57 seconds, I'm sorry, I don't think that they're gonna make it through. And of course, I know I've already done this. So they actually do not make it through the base, and I did time fail this at 97%, and that's why I wanted to show it last, because we did not get the 12 pack. Once again, the ever elusive 12 pack still eludes us. We're still working on it. Of course, I really should have tripled this base. Now I'm going to show you the triple on this base because there was an adjustment made that made all the difference on the time to finish it off. So we're going to go ahead and 4x through the rest of this. And yeah, it's just a bunch of trash getting taken out, and like I said, we could not triple. Bats were alive, King was alive, Warden was alive, but they just could not finish it in time. So let's go see how it worked out. All right, so let's see how Benjo dealt with it. He cleaned up my attack very well. He did come in with a triple on the same base, same exact strategy, same layout and all. So let's see the adjustment he makes on this. So obviously he only needed to save himself just a few seconds, probably about 10 seconds would have gotten him through the last few buildings. So 1 Ice Golem in the right corner, 2 witches, 2 bowlers, same thing as I did. He's gonna do the same thing up top, Ice Golem, 2 witches, 2 bowlers. And actually I think he set down a 3rd bowler there just to make sure that they do get through this just fine. And he keeps the wizard and the archer in his army comp, and that probably did help him out quite a bit on the cleanup there. So funnel getting set very well, just like in my attack. So 1, 2, 3 Ice Golems down, and the witches come down in behind the same way I did, making sure the funnel gets set very well. And then the Grand Warden, bowlers, wall wrecker all pushing into the behind the 3 Ice Golems, pushing into the base. Rest of the bowlers come down, King and then Queen pushing straight into the base after the funnel was created, of course. He uses 1 freeze on the single target Inferno, so he doesn't have to pop that Grand Warden ability early as I did. Here we go, pushing in finally into the raids, the only raids that I brought, and him the same because he did copy my exact strategy. Grand Warden ability for the eagle shots coming down. The wall wrecker already made it into the core, and here we go. Now the Yeti does come out. They're going to work through the Eagle Artillery, and then the bats coming down further back so he doesn't lose any bats like I did as I dropped them right here. So first freeze is going to come down on the Wizard Tower. He's going to have to freeze it 1 more time. There we go. It does get frozen the second time. He has 1 more freeze, and actually probably won't even need it because he still has a lot of army left, in which I did not. The last Wizard Tower is already down. He did use that freeze, but now all he has to do is get through a few point defenses with the bats, and he should be good to go. Queen pops her ability. She is still alive. Bowler's on the back end as well as Witches in the core, and that's going to make all of the difference to get the triple. He is nowhere near going to tide fail because he has plenty of army working through the base. All they have to do is get outside, and of course they can clean up the trash. Bowlers do make it through the wall. Witches and Skeletons make it through a wall as well. They're going to go work on this storage and have to bust out of the base to get through the trash, but the bats up top, all I have to do is really get through this storage and they should run rampant through the base. Skeletons and King and Queen working on the wall. They're going to get out and help these bats through the storages, and that's really what made the difference. He had a lot of army left as well as the bats to push through the back end of the base. So let's go ahead and 4X it because you know he does get the triple here. Benjo is a specialist, let me tell you. He's one of those people that can take any attack and improve it, usually for the triple. Let's go see what else he does. And the final triple of the video, it's going to be Benjo once again on his Town Hall 11. He's going to bring in another drag bat attack, a little bit different than the way I did it, but you know, his also works very, very well. Let's see what he's going to do. Now, I typically try to go in at a narrow side of the base with my dragons. Benjo took a bit of a different approach here. He's going to go from the wide side of the base, but there's a reason for that. So let's see what he does. One balloon coming down over here at 3 o'clock, and then the E-drag coming in to get a lot of chain value. There's a lot of trash over here and nothing that can really damage him for the first part of its chain value. Getting a lot of damage on a lot of these buildings over here. Balloon comes down to test and activating a Tesla farm. Heroes coming in at 6 o'clock behind an ice golem to set the funnel down there and hopefully get this air defense taken care of. King gonna pop his ability pretty soon after getting through all of these skeletons. Stone Slammer, balloons, and dragons pushing in, and there is the Grand Warden pushing in behind. Now, he got an air defense taken care of with the Queen. Queen is still up. She's gonna pop her ability really soon. There we go. It does go down, and he assumed that I believe he actually had a scout on this base that told him that this was, again, the double Ice Golem Balloon Clan Council. So he knew he didn't have to bring a poison, so he could bring an extra bat spell or an extra freeze spell, or swap it around and bring an extra rage, which he did decide to do. Raging early into the core. Now, I would have popped my Grand Warden's ability for these first eagle shots, but Benjo is a pro, so he went ahead and tanked the few shots and the little bit of damage on the dragon, and then pushing into the core of the base, he pops his Grand Warden ability. There we go, the max balloons out of that Stone Slammer pushing through the back end of the base. Still has the bats to use and not much of the base left. A few single target Infernos and only 2 Wizard Towers with 3 free spells to go. Bats coming in from the 3 o'clock side, pushing into the single and the air defense. Gonna have to freeze that Wizard Tower really early so that he doesn't lose any bats. Probably gonna have to freeze one more time. There we go on the same Wizard Tower. Bats gonna push through that Wizard Tower, and nothing left on the base is gonna be able to stop these bats aside from a red air bomb that could be activated by a dragon, but that is not the case. He is gonna triple this base. Let's go ahead and 4X it for these bats. A few minions up top and an archer to help clean up, and the bats are going to make it through this town hall after a while. It takes them a bit because they don't do a lot of damage to storages, but do a million damage to everything else. And that is going to be the triple with a swag freeze with the drag bat for Benjo. And as you saw at the beginning of the video, we did take the victory, and this was war number 7 that we've won in a row here at Eden's Edge. As I said, we're going to try to push all the way to 20 war wins in a row. I'm hoping that we can do it. I know we can do it. We've been really killing it, and no one's really even come close to beating us. We've had probably a 5 or 6 star advantage in the past few wars, and quite a bit of percentage. So we're killing the game right now. I'm really hoping that we can get to 20. That would just be really cool to me. Well, there was no Town Hall 12 triples in this war, or I would have shown them. Benjo kind of had to take on the last 2 Town Hall 12s alone, and like I said, we did miss 3 attacks. Those should have been scouts for the 2 Town Hall 12s up top, but unfortunate circumstances, and they didn't get those attacks in. But the other side missed 6 attacks. They were 5 stars down. I don't think mathematically they could have pulled it off based on where the stars were missing, but you just never really know, and we won't know because it's already over. But thank you guys for tuning in to this war recap video. You are all amazing, and I'll see you in the next one.